It's a cautionary tale as well, because there were a number of artists that were part of the clan that were asked to assist with decoding audio that had been sent to us via like an unnamed source, and it was all very secretive and very hush hush. But look, being a member, I thought I'd help out.
I'm not quite sure how to explain this, but I was in my studio working on the decryption data.
It's hard to describe what it actually was, but I know that it had been through a couple of guys who had been able to decode it into, I guess the format which we now know as, like a standard audio format.
Just working on that data for, evening after evening, trying to transform it into its kind of musical form. Weird stuff started to happen, and Nick had mentioned that something like this might happen. I didn't really believe it, but...
Well, I'd been up late working on the decryption for the EP in the studio, as you tend to do, putting in some hours.
Every evening, or most evenings, I'd be here, like, at the computer, like, trying to change it from the data into the audio.
I had my speakers on, and as I was working, suddenly this drone started to grow out of the speakers. I didn't really understand how it started or where it was coming from, but it was just there.
I don't know if you've ever had a fever before, but it's the dreams you get with them are very sort of vivid and very, very real. But this was a weird numeric related thing that I could not understand, and I could not fathom why it was happening. But these numeric related dreams, which were just not scary or anything, but they were relentless.
I felt my body get heavier and heavier and heavier until I found myself lying face down on the carpet, as if the strength of gravity had multiplied tenfold, or somehow the drone had got into the air particles and made them push against me until I was flat.
Later that night, I felt this sudden, strange compulsion. I got out of bed, grabbed a spade from the garden shed, went out the front, started walking down the street, digging holes in the nature strip in front of people's houses at 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. or something, and planting plants.
And really, like, what would happen is that I kind of occasionally blank out for, like, vague out for 10 seconds. Like, no big deal, just like vague out.
I couldn't move at all. I could not move my arms, my feet, my head was on its side, until the drone stopped suddenly. And then I could move again.
Sometimes I'd realise that I hadn't vagued out for like a few seconds or 10 seconds or whatever. I'd actually vagued out for like 4 or 5 hours.
The next day, when I woke up in bed, I thought that must have been a dream. But walking down the street in the morning to the tram stop, there they were, those plants that I'd planted in the middle of the night for some strange, compulsive reason. I don't know where that came from.
Sometimes it would even get more weird than that, 'cause I'd realise that I'd get up and I had gone for walks, like that I'd taken my shoes off, like, I've got this forest near my house. So in the middle of the night, I'd be doing that for like hours at a time, kind of like zoned out and not really knowing what I was doing. And then I'd only realise once I kind of got back, here, literally where I'm sitting working, and I'd kind of like come to and I'd be like, oh, how long have I been vagued out for?
Look, that's all I can say at the moment. I don't think there's anything that's going to, convince anyone that this isn't some kind of conspiracy or something, but...
I'm usually a very mild-mannered, law-abiding kind of guy, but here I was doing something quite unusual.
I think the next stage for me is to try to line up the numbers from the dreams with some of the material, things like track lengths, things like frequencies. I'm hearing things. I'm hearing that there's some other members of the decoding team that were also getting some health issues that were happening as a result of listening to these streams. And as I said, they've been very secretive about where they've come from and you know, the source. And
I mean, you can see I'm a bit uncomfortable talking about it.
I heard the word quantum at one stage.
Very odd. Very odd indeed. Very odd.
So, yeah, go figure.